The Forrester family, known for its glitz, glamour, and deep-seated secrets, finds itself at the center of one of the most shocking and emotionally charged storylines ever to unfold in CBS's The Bold and the Beautiful. As the world watches with bated breath, Liam Spencer, the beloved son of Bill Spencer and Hope Logan's husband, succumbs to a terminal brain tumor that could not be treated, leaving Hope to cradle his lifeless body in her arms. His death marks not only the end of an era for the Spencer family, but also the beginning of a storm of revelations, guilt, and intrigue that will change everything for those who knew him best. For Hope, the world has shattered in an instant, and questions regarding the future of her marriage and the unborn child she is carrying flood her mind. But as her grief overwhelms her, another much darker set of questions begins to emerge. Was Liam's death a natural consequence of his illness, or is there something far more sinister at play? The Spencer family, already teetering on the edge of destruction due to years of betrayal and secrets, must now confront a devastating reality: Liam may have been murdered. After all, could the man who had been the emotional anchor of the family and who had spent years uncovering his father's darkest secrets, Bill Spencer, have been silenced to protect those very secrets? As the questions surrounding Liam's death begin to swirl, all eyes fall on Bill. His guilt-ridden face at Liam's funeral is enough to suggest that something more may have transpired. Could Bill have gone so far as to murder his own son to prevent the exposure of a shocking family secret? The thought alone is enough to send shockwaves through the Spencer dynasty. Bill Spencer, a man of power, wealth, and influence, has long lived a life built on control and manipulation. Throughout the years, his relationships have been marred by deceit and betrayal, particularly with Liam, whom he has had a strained and tumultuous relationship with. The years of tension, resentment, and unresolved issues between father and son culminate in a way no one could have predicted Liam's untimely death. But was it truly a natural end, as initially believed, or was it the result of a dark, calculated plot? As the Spencer family comes to grips with the loss of Liam, the clues begin to surface. There are rumors, whispers, and subtle hints that suggest Liam may have discovered a devastating secret about his father, a secret so catastrophic that it would bring down everything Bill has worked to build. What if Bill was not merely trying to protect his empire, but also his own reputation at any cost? What if Liam's death was not an accident, but rather a deliberate act to keep the family's darkest truths buried? The revelation that Liam could have uncovered a family secret before his death forces Bill to confront the full extent of his guilt. Bill Spencer's past is riddled with questionable decisions, and the shadow of his actions casts a long, dark pall over the entire Spencer family. But the possibility that Liam might have been silenced to protect these secrets sends a ripple of fear through everyone involved. The aftermath of Liam's death is marked by emotional chaos. Hope is left to pick up the pieces of a broken heart, grappling with the loss of her husband, the unanswered questions about his death, and the uncertainty of raising their child without Liam by her side. As a widow carrying her late husband's child, Hope's pain is compounded by the haunting fear that Liam's death might have been part of something far larger and more dangerous than she could ever imagine. But as Hope's grief threatens to consume her, she finds herself increasingly suspicious of Bill's behavior. Her suspicions grow as she begins to uncover disturbing inconsistencies in Bill's actions and reactions following Liam's death. Why is Bill so evasive when questioned about the details of Liam's last days? What is he hiding? The more Hope digs, the more she uncovers, and she begins to piece together the possibility that Liam may have discovered something about his father's secret past that led to his tragic demise. Bill's guilt is palpable, and though he tries to hide it behind his powerful exterior, it becomes clear to Hope that her suspicions are not unfounded. But Bill is not the only one left reeling from Liam's death. The entire Spencer family is thrown into turmoil as the shocking implications of the circumstances surrounding his passing begin to come to light. Will the Spencer family members, already fractured by years of deception and distrust, finally come to terms with the fact that their patriarch might have played a far darker role in Liam's death than anyone had ever imagined? The truth about Bill's possible involvement in his son's demise will be the ultimate test for the Spencer family. The deep-seated animosities and unresolved conflicts that have plagued the family for years threaten to explode, and the repercussions of Liam's death will reach further than anyone could have anticipated. As the investigation into Liam's death progresses, the shocking truths begin to surface one after another. Each discovery unravels a new layer of darkness within the Spencer family, and the more Hope digs, the more she becomes convinced that Liam's death was not a tragic accident, but a carefully orchestrated event designed to silence the truth forever. Could Bill's own fears, insecurities, and selfish desires have led him to commit such an unthinkable act? Is his remorse for Liam's death genuine, or is it part of a larger cover-up designed to protect his own reputation? The investigation takes Hope on a roller coaster of emotions as she goes from grief to disbelief, from suspicion to certainty. As she uncovers more information about Liam's final days, it becomes clear that the truth behind his death may be far darker and more complicated than she ever imagined. The family's lies, betrayals, and secrets all come to a head, and as the tension builds, Hope is faced with a decision that could change everything. Will she expose the truth about Bill's involvement in Liam's death, or will she protect her family and move forward with her life, raising her child as a single mother? Bill's fate hangs in the balance, and the Spencer family's legacy may be forever tarnished by the dark secrets that have been buried for so long. As the investigation into Liam's death intensifies, the Spencer family finds itself on the brink of collapse. The legacy of power, wealth, and influence that Bill Spencer has built over the years now hangs by a thread, and the consequences of his actions could bring everything crashing down. Bill's remorse, if it is indeed real, may not be enough to save him from the fallout of his own choices. The guilt and shame that have plagued him for years now threaten to consume him completely. Will Bill be able to redeem himself in the eyes of his family, or will his dark past and the shocking truth about Liam's death be the final nail in the coffin of the Spencer legacy? The mystery surrounding Liam's death and the secrets of the Spencer family continue to unfold, leaving audiences on the edge of their seats, eagerly awaiting the next twist in this riveting saga of love, loss, betrayal, and family. The truth may be more devastating than anyone could have imagined, and the question remains, will the Spencer family ever recover from the dark secrets that have been buried for so long, or will they be torn apart by the revelations that have come to light? The drama is far from over, and the consequences of Liam's death will reverberate through the family for years to come. As Hope stands in the midst of overwhelming grief, the reality of Liam's death begins to settle in. The love of her life, the father of her child, is gone forever, leaving a void that no one can fill. She's left alone, trying to reconcile her love for him with the fact that he's no longer there to share in the joy of their unborn child. Hope's heart aches with the absence of Liam, and she struggles to find a way forward, uncertain of what her future holds. The world she once envisioned, one filled with love, joy, and the future they were going to build together, has crumbled, and she is now left to face the harsh reality of being a widow and a mother-to-be without Liam by her side. But even in the midst of her sorrow, Hope finds herself facing another daunting question: who will help her raise Liam's child? In the wake of Liam's death, Hope's emotions are raw, and every day seems to feel like an eternity. Yet, even as she processes the depth of her loss, her thoughts inevitably turn to the future. She's going to be a mother, and while the excitement of bringing a new life into the world should be a cause for celebration, it's clouded by the absence of the man who should have been by her side. As the days stretch on, Hope begins to grapple with the difficult reality of raising Liam's child alone. She questions whether she can do it on her own, without the support of the man she thought she would spend the rest of her life with. In this time of emotional vulnerability, Hope leans on the people closest to her for support. Among them is Carter Walton, a longtime friend and confidant of Hope, who has always been there for her through the ups and downs of her tumultuous life. Carter, a man of compassion and understanding, has seen Hope through many challenges in the past, but this loss hits both of them harder than any of them could have anticipated. As he witnesses Hope's heartache, Carter's protective instincts kick in, and he finds himself stepping forward in ways he never expected. He knows that Hope needs someone to lean on, someone who can help her navigate this storm of grief and uncertainty. His deep care and affection for her, which have always been present, now come to the forefront. As Hope and Carter spend more time together, their bond deepens. Carter's unwavering support helps Hope cope with the overwhelming sadness that threatens to consume her, but it also brings new complexities to their relationship. Carter, a man who has never shied away from tough situations, finds himself stepping up in a way that no one could have predicted. He quietly offers to help Hope raise Liam's child, knowing that she will need all the support she can get in the coming months and years. This is not a decision he takes lightly, as it involves not only his own emotions, but also the delicate balance of maintaining a sense of normalcy for the child who will carry the Spencer legacy forward. Hope is initially hesitant about the idea of Carter becoming such an integral part of her life. She knows that he cares for her, and she's incredibly grateful for his kindness, but the thought of raising Liam's child with someone other than him is something that fills her with a mix of emotions. She's not sure if she can move forward with anyone else, especially with someone who is not Liam. But as Carter patiently reassures her, the weight of her decision becomes clear. She cannot do this alone. Carter is the one person who has always had her back, and he's offering to stand by her side as she faces the challenges of motherhood. The question of whether or not they should raise the child together becomes an emotionally charged one, and Hope is left to navigate the complexities of her feelings. Over time, Hope begins to realize that Carter's offer isn't just about him being there for her, it's about him stepping into a role that no one else can. Liam's death has left a hole that cannot be filled, but Carter's presence offers her a sense of stability, and the idea of raising a child together starts to feel like the right path forward. While she'll never replace Liam, and the love she has for him will never fade, she begins to understand that she and Carter can build something new together. It's not about replacing Liam, but about creating a future for their child, and for themselves, with hope and love guiding them through the uncertainty. Carter, for his part, knows that this is no simple task. The responsibility of helping raise Liam's child is something that requires patience, love, and a willingness to put aside his own emotions for the sake of Hope and the child. He knows the complexities of the situation. The lingering grief, the memories of Liam, and the ever-present shadow of what could have been. Yet, Carter is determined to be there for Hope in every way possible, knowing that this is a pivotal moment in both of their lives. He's seen firsthand how much Hope loved Liam, and he understands that no one can replace the bond they shared. But Carter also knows that Hope deserves the chance to find a new sense of peace, and he's willing to help her create that peace, even if it means taking on the role of father to a child who isn't his. But as their lives begin to take this new direction, the road ahead is far from smooth. The dynamic between Hope and Carter will evolve, and their relationship will undoubtedly face new challenges. The question of whether they will ever truly find happiness together, or whether the ghost of Liam will always hang over them remains unanswered. Will their bond be enough to create a stable and loving environment for the child, or will the emotional scars of the past continue to haunt them? As Hope and Carter begin to navigate their new reality, they must both confront their own fears and uncertainties about what lies ahead. There are also those within the Forrester and Spencer families who question whether Carter is the right person to be a part of this child's life. Will others in their family support the idea of Carter stepping into this role, or will there be resistance and disapproval? As Hope and Carter embark on this new journey, the opinions of others could prove to be a source of tension and conflict, adding further complexity to an already complicated situation. The future is uncertain for Hope, Carter, and Liam's child. The challenges they face as they work through their grief, their love, and their uncertain future are immense. But one thing is clear, no matter the outcome, their bond will be tested in ways they never imagined. The decision to raise Liam's child together will shape not only their future, but also the future of the Spencer family. The road ahead may be filled with heartache, challenges, and doubt, but in each other, Hope and Carter find a glimmer of hope, a hope that, together, they can build a new life for themselves and the child who will carry on Liam's legacy. Their journey is just beginning, and with it, the possibility of healing, redemption, and a love that can survive even the darkest of times.